a piston that we have that's for our deep core stabilizers. So if you think about your diaphragm being the top part, your pelvic floor being the bottom, it really serves as a piston. Okay, so that's why we're cueing breathing so much, because when you hold your breath, you're making that piston not work quite so well. So actually, I'm going to use a rubber band here because it makes a lot more sense that way. The pelvic floor and the diaphragm are the deepest of our core stabilizers that go top to bottom for us. So that's why when we hold our breath, what happens is we get a lengthening of our diaphragm and a lengthening of our pelvic floor, okay? This is an inhale. As we exhale, pelvic floor is contracting, helping to stabilize, diaphragm is pushing down, okay? So you can see if I get in the state of inhalation as I go down, I'm coming in this position, my pelvic floor has dropped, my diaphragm is now in a static position, which is not appropriate, and I cannot get those deep core stabilizers to appropriately fire, okay? So we're talking spinal stability, rib cage stability, all those types of things. So that's why we want to cue continual breathing, okay? We're gonna inhale, we're gonna lengthen that diaphragm, lengthen the pelvic floor, but then as we need to maintain that exhale too, to maintain that piston within the system, because that piston, just like a car, it needs to be moving up and down. We can't just keep it in one gear at all times. So power lifters, they activate that Valsalva maneuver, that, you know, big bearing down, you know, cut off all that airway there, which is fine, but for the most part we aren't doing these for these high repetition things. So maintaining that breath, so an inhale, coming up, so you can activate that core stability, especially at the bottom of that squat. So you aren't sitting here in this lengthened position of your pelvic floor and your diaphragm and losing that deep trunk stability. What then happens is all these big global muscles surrounding it are going to be overactive, firing, and there's going to be fatigue and breakdown and pain eventually that way. So that's why we're going to continue to keep breathing so much.
This creates some tension as we pull ourselves down to the bottom of our squat. I mean, pull yourself into that squat, keeping those armpits pushed forward and then standing back up.